My name is Tori King, and welcome to Tori Talks. I am currently a senior in high school and have had muscular dystrophy since birth, which causes me to use a wheelchair full-time. In order to raise awareness about the disabled community, I created this podcast to bring in guests from different areas of the community to have them discuss the issues they feel affect their specific disability, as well as the community as a whole. So tell me a little bit about yourself.
Well, I'm Shari Cooper. I work for Goodwill Institute and in Miami Valley as a public relations assistant. Of course, I got cerebral palsy, which affects my speech, my ability to walk with my hands. Even though I do type 20 words a minute, I think that's pretty good. And I've been on a lot of boards and commissions, statewide, local, and even nationwide. I was on the Governor Council, DG Council, and National DG Council, just to name a few. I've been on a lot of councils, and currently I write a blog. And that's going very well. I discuss a lot of disability-related issues.
Cool.
And I live with my soulmate, my boyfriend, for we're going on 8 years. And I have a dog who is a Rottweiler named Tiny, and she weighs 160 pounds.
Is your dog a service dog or just a pet?
Just a regular dog.
I also have a dog, but she's not a service dog as well.
What's her name?
Her name's Mia. She's a Labradoodle.
Do you drive, Victoria?
I do. I am actually able to drive without like adaptations in my car. I just have to sit on like 2 bags because I'm really short.
I drive as well. I got a wheelchair accessible van with a ramp, so I can drive. I can do all the pedals, and I
Oh,
have
nice.
a spin knob on my steering wheel.
I looked into getting like adaptations for my car, but it ends up I'm able to drive barely. If I was any shorter, I could not drive, but I can, so that's what matters.
That's cool.
So in my research, I saw that like you have a sister that you were super close with. What is your favorite memory growing up? Like
Well,
with your
I
family?
actually have 4 brothers and 1 sister. I'm the youngest out of 6 children, but I lost one brother. He's been gone for about 6 years. He passed away. But my favorite
Oh, I'm sorry.
memory growing up was just hanging out, doing brother sisterly stuff. They taught
Mm-hmm.
me how to play Uno, how to play Monopoly. My sister taught me how to put on makeup and comb my
Mm-hmm.
hair. And we still hang up. Like we got older, we still get together and have fun together.
Yeah, I loved hanging out with my siblings growing up. They're both 10 and 11 years older than me,
Okay.
but the few years that we like spent living together, like I just have a lot of fond memories of like going to their games and performances and just things like that. So as you were growing up, who is someone who pushed you to be like the person you are now?
I would say, of course, my family, but it was my elementary principal. His name was Peter Lagasa. I went to
Mm-hmm.
a elementary school that was segregated for all people, for all children with disabilities. And even though we all had disabilities, he pushed us to be the best we could be. And he always said, there's no such word as can't. He would not let us use the word can't. And I'm so happy he did that because every time I think I can't do something, I think of him. And he actually called me not too long ago, because I read an article for the Dayton Daily newspaper, and he
Mhm.
called to say how proud he was of me.
My dad was that person for me. Like he never would let me say I couldn't do something.
Right.
Uh, So you said you went to an elementary school that only had kids with disabilities.
Yeah.
Is that like how you were all throughout your education, or did you
In
mainstream?
middle school, I was mainstream. It was like a whole different world because I went
Mhm.
from being to the majority to being the minority. And that was
Yeah,
kind of hard because in elementary we all understood one another because we had disabilities. When I got to middle school, it was different. The kids, as you know, some are nice, some are not nice. So I went
yeah.
through a lot of growing pains. So if you ask me, I think the younger a kid could be mainstream, the better.
I was mainstreamed after my second year of preschool.
Okay.
So my first year of preschool was the only year I was in a school with like only kids with disabilities. And I I think there's definitely benefits to both ways, but I'm glad I was mainstreamed when I was.
I like the other school because we had physical therapy, speech therapy, occupational therapy. We really
Mhm.
did get all we needed in that school. But when you go to the seventh grade, I think I was about 12 years old. That's a hard time anyway. So
Yeah.
just to be out there with all the quote unquote normal kids, that was kind of rough.
Yeah, middle school is hard no matter if you have a disability or not.
Right, right,
No one knows what they're doing at all, but they act like they know what they're doing. So,
right.
so you talked about how you went to a summer camp for kids with disabilities when you were younger. What was your experience with that?
Again, it was a summer camp for all kids with disabilities. And we got the bond together and have fun. We did adaptive stuff like adaptive bowling. We went
Mhm.
swimming, horseback riding, and just the com- camaraderie of all of us just being together. And we are still friends to this day.
I went to a summer camp for kids with muscular dystrophy when I was in middle school, and I wish I would have went back because at the time I did not enjoy it.
You did?
I No, I like growing up, I faced a lot of like internal ableism, and I just did not want to be there. Like I felt
You
that I
didn't
was too
appreciate it.
normal to be there,
Right.
which is not something I feel now, but like growing up, I definitely
It's
struggled like with my
probably because you
identity.
got older, Victoria. When you get older, your thought patterns start to change a little bit.
So I just wondered, like, what was your journey like with your identity regarding the disabled community, like as you've grown up?
You know, as you little, I think I always wanted to be like the other kids, the quote unquote normal kids. And
Hmm.
I struggle with that, but I think having such a strong family background helped me because they helped me to really be okay with who I was. But of course, when you're younger, you're going through a lot of stages. The ugly duckling stage, the boy stage, like, you like the boy, the teenage stage, the high school stage. It was just hard, but after, after about, after about maybe about 18, you get older, you start realizing everybody got something wrong with them, whether you can see it or not. Everybody's like, ain't perfect. You need to take uh, take your responsibility, take your power to be happy. And that's what I did. I made a conscious decision to be happy.
Yeah, I think that, like, as I've grown up, that's something I've realized you have to do. Is like you have to choose to be happy sometimes.
Yeah, I think if you can do that, I think that's good.
I think that's something that's interesting about like people that have disabilities. I think we're able to like realize that sooner than other people. You can't
Um,
like you just have to make the best of your situation.
yeah, and it's a process.
So, what made you decide to be an advocate for disabled people? Have you always wanted to do that, or was that something?
I was just born to be an advocate. For real. I think it's something. I seen a lot of stuff going on that I wanted to do, and people were saying you couldn't do it, and I wonder, well, why I can't do it, you know? And I, I just look at the world and what was going on, and it just turned me into an advocate.
Yeah, I think when people tell you you can't do something, that's like the best motivation to actually do
Yeah,
it. What is the like what started your advocacy?
probably in high school, such as yourself, knowing that the world was before me, and I wanted more for myself. And as
Mhm.
I seen the world processing, I seen there were things I could speak up on to make it better for not only for myself, but for other people with disabilities. And that's what really started my journey.
So you talked earlier about how you were on a bunch of different councils. How did you start doing that?
People actually started hearing me speak up for myself, and they started reaching out to me. I remember, are you familiar with Ohio Opportunity for Ohioans with Disabilities?
Yes.
Well, it's a rehab organization. It can help
Mhm.
you either get ready for college or get ready for work. And
Mhm.
my counselor, seeing that I was so passionate about advocacy, she suggested I get on one of their committees. And that really started my journey. From that committee, I just started joining other committees from there.
That's really cool. Like I would love to do that one day. Like that's my dream, you know. So I also saw that you were involved in Miss Wheelchair Ohio. What is like tell me about that.
It's a pageant for women using a wheelchair at least
Hmm.
80% of your day. And you gotta pick a platform to speak about it. You gotta, it's a competition. So I think I competed against 5 other women in wheelchairs all around the state of Ohio. We were all speaking on different platforms. Mine was look good, feel good.
Okay.
And I actually competed statewide, then I competed nationally for Miss Wheelchair USA. I didn't win, but I did win a prestigious award. Uh,
Oh,
it's called the Nikki Art Award. She was a lady who really was passionate about advocacy, so I won that award.
so when you won for Miss Wheelchair Ohio, I know like in the Miss America pageant, it's like a job where they like travel around for a year. Is it like that?
Yeah, I traveled everywhere. I would get engagement. I would make through schools, churches, some of the developmental boards just to go talk to people.
What issues do you think face like the cerebral palsy community that like the overall disabled community would overlook?
I want to say people are disability. If they see
Mhm.
you have a disability, the world seems to put a stigma that you are cognitive disabled as well. know,
Mm-hmm.
of course, probably not speaking well, they relate that with my cognitive ability, and they automatically think I don't know anything. I can't speak for myself. I can't order food at the restaurant for myself. And that really ticks me off. I have got older, so I don't fly off the handle like I used to, but don't stigmatize me just because of my speech impairment.
People do that to me all the time, especially because I'm short, so I look like a child.
Mhm.
Um, so they assume I'm just a little child who doesn't know anything.
Right.
It's really fun. Like, I remember specifically, I had to go get windshield wipers for my car, and I went into the car shop with my boyfriend, who is 6'1". So there's like a 2 feet height difference, right?
Right.
And the auto shop man was very confused when I was the one talking about my car
Right.
because it was my car. And my boyfriend was just standing there with me saying nothing. And he was like, "Why is this little child talking?"
I get that all the time because my
Mm-hmm.
boyfriend and me, we love to go out to dinner.
Mm-hmm.
And the first thing the waitress to do is ask him what does she want to eat. And he'll go, well, ask her. So I get that a lot. That's something that really needs to be advocated for. I don't think it'll ever be resumed, but I just keep on speaking up for myself. That's all you can really do.
Yeah, that's all you can do. It's so frustrating when people just talk to other people instead of you
Right,
about your own issues. Yeah, no, people still they'll always find something.
right.
Like, just talk to me about my own issues.
I try to forgive them because I feel like they don't know any better. One thing, I will not go through my life an angry lady. I don't want to be angry all the time.
Exactly. Like, I'm not mad at people for doing that. It's just frustrating.
Right,
Yeah, I don't like as long as they don't know and they're just acting out of ignorance, it's fine.
right.
The only times it really gets frustrating is some people like to just come and pray over me.
Oh, I
Um,
get that all. I get
yeah,
random. Have you
yep.
ever been in the store and get that?
Yeah, I was at Target with one of my friends. We're just looking at the clothes section, and this middle-aged man comes over to us, and he looks at me, and he's like, "What's wrong with your legs?" And I was like, "I was born that way." And then he puts his hand on my shoulder and starts praying over me.
And you don't want to be rude. I'm like, uh-oh. I hope this is that guy in the front. You know, but come on, get off of me. That's personal space.
Like, please don't touch me.
Right. I don't know where your hands been.
Yeah, but also you're like, I can't. If you get mad at me, I can't really defend myself. So yes,
Right.
I'm here.
Or run over your foot.
You said you use a care attendant. I think
Oh
you said
yeah.
it in one of
I
your like
when
writings.
I moved out my mom's house, uh, I think that was 2002.
Hmm.
I have always had a caregiver. It's hard for me to do things such as tie my shoes, comb my hair, and put on
Hmm.
makeup. Now, I could do it if I got to, but it's a lot easier if I got help. Because I get fatigued very easily.
That makes sense. I
As
get
I
that.
get older, I get more fatigued. So, yeah, I
Yeah.
still have a caregiver. Don't know if you know, but that's a major issue in the disability system. Caregivers are few and far between. Uh, they we can't seem to keep any good ones. Uh, we can't seem to keep any lately. I think they need to pay them more.
That makes sense. It wasn't for like as long term, like obviously as you would need, but before my grandmother passed, she needed like full around the time care.
Right.
So my aunt and uncle took care of her, but like they tried for months to find a caregiver, so that way they could like leave the house ever,
Yeah.
and they just were never able to.
Then you gotta get one you kind of jail with. You just can't get anybody because this person comes to you all the time. So you got a relationship with them. So
Yeah. And they
some
see you
of
at
them-
your best and your worst.
Some of them are good. Then I done had some real bad ones. If they supposed to be here at 8 o'clock, they don't show up to 8:30. It's a major issue.
So you write for the Dayton newspaper, right?
Yeah.
How long have you been doing that?
I must say about 10 years. I'm a community contributor. So when something comes up, an issue like I wrote a story on when I go to Walmart, why isn't there any scooter plugged up? Every time I go there, the scooter is low with no charge.
Of course.
Or they are out in the parking lot. Or it's a teenager on it riding around. So I didn't write about that. I just write about various issues.
So you kind of just get to write about whatever you want to.
Yeah, I like that too.
Yeah, that's nice to be able to have that flexibility
Yeah.
and not be like tied to one specific topic you have to talk
And
about.
the community has been very responsive. I could be at Walmart and somebody go, hey, ain't you the girl in the newspaper? Nice article.
That's really cool.
Yeah.
I think that is every like point I wanted to talk about. Thank you for meeting with me.
Thank you for having